1, 2, the cut down. The OnePlus 9R. OnePlus 9R. This is kind of like the sneaky third SKU that OnePlus overlooked, but didn't overlook. And they kind of, kind of glanced over it in the name of what was happening with the OnePlus 9 Pro, obviously, and the whole Hasselblad partnership, obviously, and the OnePlus 9. What is the OnePlus 9R? Where does it sit? What's the whole agenda behind it? We're going to delve into it. We're going to look at the specifications, and we're going to try and make this a quick fire one. We're going to really look into what is OnePlus's perspective and agenda with the OnePlus 9R. What are they trying to achieve with it? Does it make sense for them to bring it out if it doesn't really do what it needs to do? And what's my thoughts on it outside looking in, and if it makes sense for where it's going, right? This is something that I'm very, very, very intrigued in when I saw this. So I'm gonna look at this and I'm gonna see, what is the OnePlus 9R all about, right? What is it about? So we're going to look at the specifications. We're going to break it down. We're going to look at the different ways in which it makes sense and doesn't make sense, and what I would have actually preferred from it, and if it doesn't cannibalize other product lines and where it sits. We've headed over to GSM Arena. We're looking at the OnePlus 9R. Then we're going to look at an article of what the OnePlus 9R represents, right? OnePlus 9R, we're looking at a 6.55 inch display. That's already my first issue with it. First issue. We're going to do a comparison afterwards, right? What are we working with? Right, I'm not going to look over the dimensions, but you are looking at Gorilla Glass 5 front and back. It is an aluminium frame, right? Very interesting. It is a flat display by the looks of it. It's a 6.5 inch. It's a fluid AMOLED display, 120 hertz, HDR10 plus, full high definition plus with a 20:9 aspect ratio. Android 11 as expected. The system on the chips is using an 870. From my understanding, an 870 is a rehoused 865, because it's packing the same Adreno 650, so it's an 865. So maybe it's an 865. It's a glorified 865 plus potentially, right? You do have two SKUs by the looks of it, which is 8 gig RAM, 128 gigabytes of ROM, 12 gig RAM, 256 gigabytes UFS 3.1, right? Here's the camera breakdown: 48 megapixel f1.7, 26mm wide field of view, f1/2 inch sensor. So this is that IMX586 sensor that we first saw from the OnePlus 7. They've been rinsing out the sensor, rightfully so. Face detection, autofocus, OIS, pixel bin into 12 megapixels, 16 megapixels ultra wide, f2.2, 40mm field of view, great 123 degree. Don't know how that's going to work with distortion, but it is a good field of view. Definitely anything 120 degrees and above is a good field of view, and it's classed as a legit ultra wide, 100%, gotta give it that. And then these dreaded camera sensors that I don't know, like honestly, 5 megapixels, why put them? I don't even know why I put them. OnePlus, you know what? Let me just start my early critique. It's okay not to put them and just call it a dual camera lens, It's really okay to just not put these camera sensors there and just make the product cheaper and just focus on those two focal lengths. It's not that deep. Like, there's other manufacturers like Apple that just do the dual lens and just don't put these gimmicky lenses on it. Like, no one needs it. So I'm saying no one needs it, bro. And you're looking at 4K UHD 60 frames a second, the usual standard 1080p 240 frames, and a 16 megapixel front facing camera with f2.8, f2.4 that still can't shoot anything higher than 1080p 30 frames a second. 4500 milliamp hour battery, 65 watt ultra fast charging. That's great. No wireless charging. Definitely, the 0 to 1 to 100, 39. I fully believe that. 470 euro. So that's carbon black and lake blue. Right, and definitely no IP68 and anything else that comes with it. We're going to read this article, right? OnePlus 9R release date, price, and used features, and why you probably can't buy it, right? Okay, OnePlus 9R was announced alongside the 9 Pro, a cheaper, lower end alternative, and one which if you live outside of India, you probably won't be able to buy. Okay, so that already gives an indication that it's an India only exclusive. That said, it's always possible for OnePlus to decide to bring it a similar phone to other regions one day, where with their product cycle, there's always the Nord range or even a OnePlus HE, which the 9R has a lot in common with. That's already a first one. Below, We'll give you the overview of the specs. We went through that already. So to the chase, it's the lowest model and the cheapest model of the OnePlus 9 range. When is it out? 14th of April, but only in India. Okay, 14th of April. We're looking at 2 weeks and 2 days as of this recording. And it's 40,000 rupees, which is around $150, £400. And this is what we're looking at, right? 440 euros, 440 pounds. There's different SKUs and whatnot. I see what they've done. What is the point? What is the point? I get this inkling feeling this is a rehoused OnePlus 8T. Really and truly, I really don't see the point in this. I'm not saying it's a bad phone. But it seems like it's just a rehousing that they've done. It's a good phone. I guess it's a good phone. I mean, I love the 8T. If it's anything like the 8T, and for the price that it is going at, I love it. I think the reason why they've done what they need to do with it is I honestly see it as a rehoused 8T. I think it's a rehoused 8T. Let's call it as it is. It's the same camera array as the 8T. It's exactly the same camera array as the 8T. So is that a bad thing? No, but I'm struggling to make sense of it. Maybe because obviously it's in India, they can be even more competitive. Maybe in India they've discontinued the 8T. If they've discontinued the 8T and they've made it cheaper than the 8T and a rehoused body that looks more familiar to the design of the 9 series, then I don't really have that much complaints to it. I really don't have that much complaints with it in all retrospect. What I do have complaints with, I think they missed a key opportunity in what the OnePlus 9R could be rather than just a rehousing. OnePlus are missing a key trick with what companies like Samsung and Apple are doing with making a smaller flagship, man. Why is it not a 6.2 inch display? Why doesn't it have 4,000 mAh battery? That would make sense for a 9R. It should have been a 6.2 inch display. My time with them when I was there, I always used to feedback you lot need to actually get on board with these slightly smaller compact flagship phones that are 6.2 inches. Maybe not mini, but 6.2 inches. All your phones are always 6.5 inches and above, and I get it. I do. You do make phones that are that sizes that are well handled. I have to give you that. But I think you're missing a key trick when using phones like, what I've got here. This is the Phantom Pink Galaxy S21, right? You're missing a key trick of how nice these phones are to pattern up. You see, and I think if they had gone that route, and I know this is what exposes it to be an even more of a rehoused 8T, but I believe they would have really done well making the 9R a 6.2 inch displayed phone that goes up against a phone like the S21, right? 6.2 inch, pound for pound, Snapdragon 870, double the same SKU configurations that they've got, 4,000 mAh battery, 65 watt charging for that price or lower. Come on. So that's my only take of an opportunity that they've missed rather than rehousing an 8T. Unless I've really missed something, but I did a lot of videos on an 8T for me to know that is an 8T. Is that a bad thing? No. But I think they could have gone with a much different approach with what they had with the OnePlus 9 Pro, then the OnePlus 9, and then moving down to the OnePlus 9R, which would have seen the size difference go down from obviously 6.8, 6.7 to 6.5, all the way down to 6.2. That would have made more sense. No one really asked for a rehoused 8T. The 8T is all right by itself, but hey, that's just what I'm looking at when it comes to, my thoughts on the OnePlus 9R. India only, so not really much more of a concern. If you're in the UK or anywhere in the rest of the world and you've got access to an 8T, just buy it's the same phone. You're pretty much not losing out, I personally believe. And those are my thoughts on the India only OnePlus 9R.